A mass funeral procession. Cuban exiles mourning what they say is the death of human rights in Cuba. Their cries for years heard only in South Florida, now echoing through top international circles. The United States is trying hard to get countries here at the United Nations to join it in denouncing Cuba for human rights abuses, but so far it has met with little success. 2 months ago in Geneva, the U.S. lost by just one vote its bid to get the Cuban human rights issue on the agenda of the UN Commission on Human Rights.
I didn't find anybody who denied that this was going on except Cubans themselves. And in fact, their answer was not to deny the facts, but a diatribe, a vitriolic attack on me personally.
There have been similar attacks on Cuba's most vocal critics, like Armando Valladares. This Cuban propaganda film, obtained by Eyewitness News and now seen for the first time on American television, denounces Valladares' claim that he became paralyzed in prison.
After so many years of being in a wheelchair, when it was time for him to leave jail, Valladares was able to walk without a limp.
Valladares has said his paralysis was temporary due to bad nutrition, and that when it was treated prior to his release, he was able to walk again. Eloy Gutierrez Menoyo was an outspoken critic even from behind bars. When Eyewitness News interviewed him in prison, he lashed out at Castro and spent the next 7 years in solitary. He warns not to underestimate the Cuban government.
Tiene la mano muy larga.
It has a very long hand that crosses the island through the seas and reaches everywhere.
Ramon Grau, another political prisoner, says he heard a similar warning from a government official just prior to his release.
Be careful. Don't talk too much, because our hand is very long. You know, it could reach all around the world.
Some people think that hand is already at work, pressuring some countries to overlook human rights abuses in Cuba.
Yeah, the bottom line is blackmail.
Because of fear of reprisals from the communists.
It has been, some say, a conspiracy of silence, and to break it, those who suffered are having to break their own personal silence.
I was in the floor and they beat me and beat me.
I would call it terror.
Yeah, it was a horror. It was a horror. Horror.
It was like hell.
At 9 o'clock, executions began.
And the man was shot, and then the firing squad began dancing around his body.
The night birds would come to scratch the pieces of flesh and take the last bites.
We lost everything, but the most important thing we lost, without a doubt, was our father.
This is more than a violation of human rights. This is a degradation of human condition.
And I don't know why they don't believe it.